All right, guys, welcome back again to another episode. We've got a special guest here, and obviously you're joined by the usuals, but we got Paul's not here with us today, so yeah, we got Marvin in the building.
What's up?
So yeah, our special guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Adeola. You might know me as the Modern Alchemist on Twitch. I also have a blog website, and I'm starting to slowly but surely get into photography, so have a look at that. The main other thing I got going is I have a brilliant anime podcast. We know our stuff, so yeah, just good vibes all around. Good vibes.
Plug that in. So I know today's episode is going to be very intense. All the gamers, this is going to be a jam-packed one. I'm glad I'm here. So yeah, Marvin, I know this is your field, so I'll let you take the floor on this one. So yeah.
Babe, let's just say my learned field. I'm trying. So I decided to bring, or at least speak to Ade, because I know that she also has a ton of knowledge. And so, where are we going to start? Where should we start? Ade, what kind of games are you into? What have you been playing recently?
So what have I been playing?
Beginning. Before we get into
Oh, we dialing it all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
We're reloading all the way to
what we like to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let the viewers know. Hey, you know what? I thought of something. I even had it up. Before we get into that, I want to do a little game. It's a multiple choice game that I just discovered. Shout out to game.co.uk. Since you guys are like the game nerds, let me put it to the chest. Let's see how much you guys know. No pressure.
Okay.
No worries. Easy. Wow, I think.
No pressure.
But yeah. All right. First one. Which Nintendo character appeared in a game first? So you got three options. Link in The Legend of Zelda. Love that game. Laughing Dog in Duck Hunt. Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. I'm guessing Donkey Kong. What are you going to guess? Because Donkey Kong's been around on arcade machines.
I feel like it was either the first option or the last option.
Link? You think Link? Swear.
I'm going to go the first option. Actually, no. Oh, shit. No.
You could be right.
It's too late. I already said Link. I'll firm it. Who is it?
It is Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong.
I should have gone with
How does Link? It's been since, I don't know how long we've had Link.
All right. The next one.
Like 1990s, I think was the first Link game. Donkey Kong came out before that because it had the one where him and Luigi were like plumbers and that whole situation. So yeah, Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong and Luigi.
That's new to me. All I remember is the one where
the original Super Mario was completely different.
Mad.
Or was it just Mario Brothers? I can't remember, but yeah.
All I remember of me playing is the one with him and Diddy Kong. That was it.
No, I just know that they've had Donkey Kong since the time that they had like arcade machines. Like when they had these like
even way back. Sorry.
Further than that, they've had the You know the one where you have like the thing throwing barrels from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the
Donkey Kong. That was Donkey
Kong.
Black
background, red ladders. Barrels being thrown.
Yeah. That's from time ago. Okay, continue, Jamal.
All right. Which game was released first? Time Splitters, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, and Halo Combat Evolved.
Time Splitters.
Why do you just... You're too quick.
I'm sorry. Okay, next time I'll be quiet.
What were the other two options?
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon and Halo Combat Evolved.
You've entered the Matrix. You entered the Matrix. You entered the Matrix. We didn't hear you say that all again.
Can we reload? Can two people choose the same answer?
Yeah.
Or is that not allowed?
Yeah, it's allowed.
Yeah,
Okay,
you want to start keeping points? Yeah, cool.
It's allowed.
You got book.
Same answer as Malvin. Same answer as Malvin.
All right.
Alvin's on 2.
Yeah, correct. It was
Time
time.
splitters.
Yeah. All right. Which game has sold more copies? Yeah. The Last of Us,
Mm-hmm.
Players Unknown's Background,
Battlegrounds.
Battleground. Sorry. Oh,
Oh
and
yeah,
the
PUBG.
last one is the Elder Scroll V Skyrim.
Skyrim.
I was gonna say Skyrim because
Because it's literally on everything.
PUBG is a free to
Dead.
play. They technically don't have to sell anything, and that it increased and then rapidly declined. Last of Us, ooh, just because it's on because Elder Scrolls has like a cult following. So does The Last of Us, but The Last of Us was it was like a hit for the PlayStation 3, end of PlayStation 3, beginning of PS4 life cycle. So I don't know.
Take a guess, bro.
I'm gonna stick with Skyrim
Go with your heart, my
because
man.
I just remember that guy in the announcement doing the stupid thing of him playing Skyrim on like a smart fridge, and after that I was like, nah, it's alright, it's alright.
And the fact that it's actually
which
possible.
one is it?
I'm gonna say Skyrim.
Skyrim, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Oh, you guys got it wrong. It was.
If you said Last of Us.
No,
What?
it was the Players Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Are you joking?
That does
Seriously?
make sense.
Oh,
PUBG is
that
not
makes
free to play.
sense,
What am
but
I on?
that's so
I'm cutting
annoying.
nonsense. PUBG is not free to play, but it did.
All right. Which
Those
Sony character?
Fortunate souls.
Which Sony character appeared in a game first? Spyro in Spyro the Dragon, Spike in Ape Escape, Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid.
What was the second one?
Spike in Ape Escape.
Spike.
I'll say Solid Snake.
Wait, shit. When was the first Metal Gear?
Which Sony character appeared in the game first?
I don't know. This one I don't know. I'm guessing Solid Snake.
When was the first Metal Gear? I can't remember. It's either Spike or Solid Snake. Wait, hold on. Who's the
Look at the grin on this
snake
guy's
in
face.
the series? It isn't Solid Snake. That's the first snake in the series.
Love
Because
it.
there's like Liquid Snake, Venom Snake.
This brings out the guys.
Okay, I'm gonna change to Solid Snake. So
You could have been right whichever one. I don't know.
And you guys are right. Solid Snake.
Okay.
Okay.
Keeping score.
All right, I'm gonna do a couple more.
What?
I'm gonna do like 2 more, and we'll keep stepping. So, which character has appeared in the largest amount of games? Crash Bandicoot, Lara Croft, or Pikachu?
Pikachu. That's not
Pikachu.
Nah, that's Pikachu. It has to be Pikachu.
Be Pikachu, right?
Yeah, it's Pikachu.
Like, who else would it be? I thought you were going to say Mario.
If you said Mario or Sonic, then it's baffling. You don't know.
All right.
But,
yeah, because if Mario might have been a contender, do you know what I mean? But it's Pikachu, hands down.
All right.
Go on.
Grand finale.
So,
Let's see.
Grand finale, yeah.
Last one. Okay.
Which home console came out first? Oh, this is easy for you guys. Sega, Nintendo, or Atari? Oh, it's difficult. Oh, nice. All right.
Sega. Is it? Is Sega the Dreamcast? Wait, but no.
Sega Master System,
Atari,
Nintendo Entertainment System, Atari 7800.
I'm going to say the Atari.
Wait, so Sega, Atari, and then what's the last option?
Nintendo Entertainment System.
The NES.
When did the NES come out?
Atari.
Can't even. No, I don't think Nintendo was first.
This I don't know. This when it comes to certain dates, I will definitely not know. This one I'm not 100%
I'm sure Nintendo wasn't first because it took over the market. I know it definitely wasn't first. Which one
It was
is
a market leader, but I don't know if it was a pioneer.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Okay, let me just go Sega.
Marvin,
I know I'm wrong.
I said Atari.
I know I'm wrong. It's Atari, isn't it?
It is Nintendo.
Hey,
What?
it's a tie.
Oh my god!
It's 4-4. It's 4-4. Golden goal.
Golden goal, yeah.
I'm joking.
Okay, go.
Let me not do that because you'll finish me. She'll finish me today.
All right. So yeah.
Oh, do you want to do like a appreciation like speech? I thank my moms.
Lord, won an Oscar.
My mom will say, "You got 4. Why could you not get 5? Did the questions fall from heaven that you could not get 5?" I'm gonna have to retire. You know? Someone just needs to take my gamer badge back. Like nah.
Nah, you did well.
Yeah, you guys do well.
I was expecting to get smoked because she knows stuff beyond me. So
which is what
I was expecting.
Random Wikipedia knowledge. Like, do you know when you get bored and you end up on Wikipedia at 2 a.m. in the morning and you have no idea how you got there? That's never happened to you.
No.
Oh, fam.
Unless you do like the association thing, the association game on Wikipedia, and you're like just going from one point to another.
You can get lost in Wikipedia. I definitely agree. Like something I'm invested in.
Exactly.
Oh, so this.
See, he knows. You could be looking through a book summary, and then all of a sudden you end up on the page for the Divine Comedy, and you have no idea how you got there. Like it's weird.
It's crazy. It's you feel like you're in them movies, them CSI.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you're learning about blood spatter patterns and famous murderers, and you learn that somebody used to dress up as a clown. And yeah.
Adeola's capable of finding your entire back history. Be careful.
I'm not that good. I have friends who are that good, but I'm not that good.
But where do we start the game chat? I did want to start off by letting people know that even though we're cracked up inside, well, most of us that are adhering to the pandemic rules, we're inside. But the rest of you might not going outside, enjoy your life, just be careful not to, enjoy responsibly. That's all we're going to say. But we would normally be having our different events and or different showcases talking about what games will be coming out and actually demonstrating more concerning consoles and the capabilities of them. And at the moment, we haven't been getting too much. The industry has been moving forward. It hasn't been completely silent, but it's been happening. So I know that I think last week we got the Unreal Engine 7?
5.
Why am I thinking 7?
Yep. Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal Engine 5. The the showcase for that on the PS4, and it looked incredible. I think it looked incredible. I wanted to scream.
It did. It looked beautiful.
It's all that happening now. In fact, before we even get onto that, the point I was trying to bring up is that we don't have all the showcases. And so there is a list. I don't know where we're going to post this, but I did look up on Kotaku, and they have a show of all the different events that would normally be happening that we could go to, are now going to be doing everything online instead. Or at least there's like a different set or run of showcases that I'll be talking about different things. So if I was going to like quickly run through them, the day of recording today is the 22nd of May. So we may have missed 1 or 2. Yeah, 22nd of May. Yeah, time is flying. I beg. My dad only reminded me it was his birthday next month, but I thought it was still in April. So we've missed Summer Game Fest. That was May 12th at 5 p.m. UK time. Then you've got Guerrilla Collective, and Guerrilla Games is the company that made Horizon Zero Dawn. They're also behind Killzone series. I think a number of other games as well. But they're doing a interactive talk, and they're going to do a showcase for June 6th. We have the PC gaming show June 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We have the Steam Game Festival, June 9th through June 14th. That just hearing Steam do any kind of showcase is actually interesting. Because I'm not 100% into seeing all show. Like, I'll be watching stuff from YouTube and whatnot, but I don't always, pay attention to what's going on. I've never seen Steam do a showcase. The fact that Steam is now doing a showcase is very interesting. We have CD Projekt Red and Night City Wire. They're doing their Night City Wire, or one of the two. That is not very clear for me. Apparently, I'm not too smart to understand what they're trying to say. But we've got CD Projekt Red doing a showcase June 11th, and the time is to be discussed. So we're going to try and keep updated on whatever that is. EA is doing a Play Live June 12th at 12 a.m. UK time, so that is midnight. We have Ubisoft doing a Move Forward showcase July 12th at 8 p.m. Microsoft is doing theirs. Wow, they've called it 2020, but that's just going to be in July. So where we would normally have a ton of showcase, a ton of live shows as to what's going on, most people can go. I know that the one that we always talk about is E3, normally held in the US. Everything been locked off. We know this. But
TwitchCon EU as well, that was cancelled. I was supposed to go to that in Amsterdam earlier this month, and I'm very upset that that's no longer happening.
It's all mad. Wait, what else is also locked off other than TwitchCon? I know E3 locked off because of the massive
GDC 2020 was also locked off. That was where the Epic Games PS5 Unreal Engine 5 demo was supposed to be unveiled at GDC. That's no longer happening. There's just a bunch of anime gaming conventions worldwide that have been locked off. I know BloodCon has been locked off. AnimeCon New York has been locked off, and a lot of people are upset. But at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? We're not trying to start a whole new pandemic wave because we want to go and see the latest anime and games releases. So it is what it is. It sucks, but we move.
It sucks, we move. It's just kind of interesting to see because we're now looking at how everything is now done online. But in previous years, people were starting to say that if you don't have a proper reason, if you're not there for any journalistic reason, going to some of these showcases, there's no point going. You're getting a much better experience by watching, let's say E3 from home, watching CES. Is it, if I'm correct? What's the other one?
CEX?
CEX. No,
CES.
That's the. I'm trying to remember what it is. And you've also got PAX that you have different showcases going on, and they're you get a much better preview or everything watching it from home. Watching it on
EGX Res and EGX that was also cancelled this year as well. Yeah,
the stuff that and it's kind of like how peak everything's being cancelled, but now that we're doing everything online, I think it may be a better thing right now that we obviously is better for the current situation, but it's kind of like a better thing for a lot of these different companies to then be able to put together a showcase and show it online, because then it's one of those cases. Was that me or you guys? I'm wondering if I should close the window.
I think that's that might be me.
Okay, because I'm trying to watch out for the ice cream vendor and likes them come and make noise. Them ones there. But yeah, you've got so much of this that companies have been held back from, but now they can do everything online. So given that now the companies can do everything online, we may get a better showcase. I think the only people that this may have hurt are Microsoft and Sony when it comes to showing off the new consoles that are coming out later on this year. What do you think?
I guess because they can't make a song and dance of the entire thing, it might lessen the impact. Which, to be honest, the way they did it last year was just not good like that. I was watching it and I was just like, can we get to the important bit? I don't care if this guy's dressed up. I don't care if this guy's wearing what was he wearing? Was he wearing the wooden reed hat that Itachi wears in Naruto? That thing. I don't care if he's dressed up like a bargain bin member of the Akatsuki. I'm here for the game showcase. That's what I'm here for. So I know what's going on.
a lot of people were bagging on Sony for their showcase as well. I think that's where you're talking about the straw read one. That's when there was definitely take people locked in. Has kind of provided a better opportunity for them as well. It's like interesting to see now, because now that the pandemic has hit, and where we would normally get a ton of information from like Sony and Microsoft, everything's now been halted and now pushed to whatever events that will be held online, people to now watch. But it just means that Sony, people are starting to say that this console war, I don't know why it still exists, but this console war is going to be won by Microsoft, because Sony hasn't gotten out a ton of information. And quite frankly, I'm still going to get a PS5. So I'm kind of wondering what's actually going on with people at this point.
Yeah, I don't know about that whole Microsoft is going to win the console war situation, because PlayStation just has like an excellent variety of first-party games, not to talk of all the third-party stuff that they release as well. And narratively, they just kill it. Like, for example, The Last of Us 2, disregarding the leaks and how some people seem to be dissatisfied with the plot. We're not going to reveal any spoilers, hopefully, on here. So, yeah, you don't have to look out for that.
Don't worry.
But even a lot of people were drawn in by the first one, Horizon Zero Dawn, like you mentioned, Sekiro, Bloodborne. Like, PlayStation just consistently brings that God of War. They just consistently bring out good narrative titles. And their online games aren't all that bad either. Like, Overwatch is available on PlayStation, for example. I've been streaming that for a while. Dauntless is available on PlayStation. Dauntless is cross-platform. There are a bunch of games that you can play online on PlayStation, so Microsoft and Xbox don't necessarily hold the lead in that perspective anymore. So with regards to winning the console war, I think at this point it's between Nintendo and PlayStation.
Whoa.
Like, unless they bring out like an absolute game changer at that what is the title of the new Xbox? I don't know. It just gets longer and longer, and the size of the damn thing gets bigger and bigger as I keep looking at diagrams.
Xbox
Series X, Project Scarlet, Supernova Flag Spaceship, whatever it's called.
Lord help you relax.
The thing looks like a fridge. Like, at some point, they're just going to strap a rocket on it. And it's going to have 50 billion horsepower. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's unless they come out with like an absolutely massive library of excellent titles on launch, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, to be honest. Launch titles is something I'm concerned about with the PS5 as well.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because when they were first announcing the PS5...
I don't know, like myself. What do you mean by launch titles?
So when a console first comes onto the market, there's only going to be a certain number of games that are available to play on it at release. And also, if it doesn't have backwards compatibility, like, for example, say you've bought 120 titles on your PS3, you now buy a PS4. You can't put PS3 discs into a PS4, and there's no backwards compatibility. So only games that are available to play on the PS4 at launch are what you're going to be able to play on your new console.
Yeah.
So what is available at launch on the PS5? Are we going to be able to play all of our PS4 games on the PS5 and then they get a graphical upgrade?
Yeah.
Or is it only going to be originally that PS5 games will be available for the first month, and then they'll patch in that backwards compatibility later on? Do you know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to work out. They said they're going to have backwards compatibility, but how long will it take them to implement it in a usable fashion? Which is a problem.
Is it something... Okay, this is something I didn't research into. I'm wondering whether or not they would have already built in the ability to have games that are backwards compatible, or having the system made so that they can have backwards compatibility between the PS5 and PS4, the same way you have it from the Xbox Series X to the Xbox One. And I was thinking, did they say the architecture of the PS5 is completely different to the PS4 as well?
I'm not so sure about the architecture on that respect, but I know that they've built in backwards compatibility to an extent on the console. I'm just concerned about how many developers are going to release patches that make it a usable thing for their games, and if it will make all that much of a difference, because the DualSense controller, I don't know how different that is in terms of button mapping. That might cause problems when transferring everything onto the new console. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Also, because Microsoft, though I take the piss out of them a lot, they do have the Xbox Game Pass, which is very, very good in comparison to PlayStation Now, which is complete garbage.
I haven't checked out. I can't say anything. I just saw that they had Spider-Man, and I was like, maybe this might be good. Might be a good idea. This might be a good idea.
Like, I went to EGX. I won a month.
The Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, Malvin, you take it. You explain it.
So the Xbox Game Pass is like a subscription system that Microsoft has allowed for you to be able to pay a certain amount each month to get access to a full library of games that they consistently update. So you're not paying outright for certain games, but you're just paying for access to certain games that you can. I think you can download and play them, and then when your subscription runs out or whatever happens, you no longer have access to them. So let's say you want to have Forza, you want to have Gears of War, all on your Xbox, but you haven't bought them. You pay let's say £9 per month, or maybe how many dollars or how many pounds per month is it?
I think it's $8.99. I think $8.99. I'm not sure.
So for those of you that are in America, it'll be around about $11 to $12. And you pay that for a month, and then you get access to those games for the time that you have them for. Yeah, I mean, so that's what Game Pass is, and then PlayStation has PlayStation Now, which is the equivalent for PlayStation. Yeah, I mean, so you have those, and you were saying something, Adeola, about whether or not Game Pass would be acceptable. Sorry. I can't find the words. I think I need to.
I know what you mean.
It'll be available.
Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass is pretty good. PlayStation Now, it's just they don't update their library frequently enough, and the fact that it's £12.99 a month, I think, for PlayStation Now, on top of what you're already paying for PS Plus, which is required if you want to play anything online. So here's the thing. When it comes to the Game Pass situation, Nintendo are like trash, like atomic, nuclear, radioactive trash when it comes to online. And anybody who's attempted to find a level in Super Mario Maker can tell you that, because why am I inputting a 12-digit dodo code to find somebody's level, and then I end up playing just some random garbage instead of what I intend? Okay, let me know. Anyway, Nintendo, dog trash. Let's get back on target. So the only thing I will rate them for when it comes to online is the fact that their online is combined with access to their version of the Game Pass, which includes the NES and SNES titles. I think they added 2 quite recently. I can't tell you which 2 they were, because they were 2 that I didn't particularly care about, but they added them, which is the important part. And that it's a combined service. It makes sense that you should combine something like the Game Pass with the online. Like, for example, PlayStation. If PS Plus costs £10 a month or £12 a month, and it included that PlayStation Now as an extra benefit, all in one service, then I wouldn't be mad about paying £12 a month. I honestly wouldn't. But the fact that you're making me pay an additional £12 for something that Nintendo bundles in for free, and Nintendo are literally blind, one-legged, assisted by a 160 horsepower crutch on the wrong side when it comes to online, and you, for some reason, don't seem to understand this. I don't get it. What was the reason? It's
Nintendo, fam. Oh gosh, because it's even weird comparing Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, because it's like you can't compare PC to console, because it's like PCs and it's a league of its own. It's an entire different. That's the way I see it, at least. It's like a completely different ecosystem. The same way you look at Nintendo and you try and compare it to these things, And like these are completely different ecosystems. I feel like Nintendo has an entire demographic, an entire set of people that will get a Nintendo Switch, and you can have that alongside having a PlayStation and or Xbox, and it would make the most sense because even though you now get more crossover, there are games that are really just made for Switch. There's not many games that I know of that are made for Switch that are ported over to
Cuphead. Cuphead was a really good port. Cuphead was actually the reason why I got a Switch, because I damn well wasn't going to get an Xbox to play it.
Well, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you get a Switch because you want to get Cuphead, but Cuphead was ported to the Switch. What games are made for Switch that are moved to console?
Metroidvania games, mostly, like narrative games, like things like Undertale, for example. What else? Because I know that they've brought out, what is it called, Void Bastards or something like that, which is like a first-person shooter on Switch. But I mean, do you really go to the Switch for first-person shooters? No.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. So I don't know how well that's going to do, but they have a free demo anyway on the store. So whenever my Nintendo Pro Controller decides to come in the post, I'm going to be giving that a try. But yeah, I understand what you mean, that it's a completely different demographic, but there's a reason why Nintendo Switches are currently sold out worldwide.
Yeah.
Like completely sold out. Like they restocked worldwide and they were gone in 30 minutes. That's
oh my god.
Stupendous.
Fam, Jamal, Nintendo is a different beast. Like, fam, I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. It's they're the people that made games for our childhood, but everything still makes cultural sense now.
Yeah.
And they have a hold on all the people that are making money as either recent graduates or whatever. And then they also have reached to younger generations easily because
like,
a lot of their
it's mad, you know, like when I clocked that Nintendo's doing like big things. So my cousin, also he's into gaming as well. When he told me that, you know what, yeah, I'll give you my PS4 and I'll keep Nintendo Switch. Like basically, he would obviously, you know, like when your cousin just give you consoles when they're done with them, innit? So I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough to have that, innit?
Your brother just dashed you the PS4. He was just like, here.
Yeah, and he
have it.
Yeah, and he said he wanted to use the Switch instead. But when he
took my PS4 on holiday to Nigeria, bruv. I would never. What? I would never.
That's when I knew that Switch, yeah, is doing bits. For him to give big boy PS4 and keep the Switch.
He looked at you in your face and he said, "You're gonna take this one, and I'm taking the Switch."
Yeah,
that's what he said to you.
Yeah,
the Switch is not a joke, and that's the thing. Nintendo it's an entire monopoly for them. Like everything, you don't have any other console that is coming and challenging the Nintendo as another handheld device that works just as well.
Yeah, no. Especially because the PlayStation Vita, PSP is no longer a thing. Like it's not gonna happen. It's just not.
PSP was I loved it. Oh my days. PSP was the one.
It was hard. Honestly. It's hard.
It was great. Like
that time period.
But no, the Switch is just I feel like it's the epitome of a handheld console, especially the full version of the Switch. You can't take the controllers off and switch them out for like do you know what I mean? Like the original Switch is just, it's a thing of art. Like the way that you can just store everything, the way you can take controllers off, the way you can add additional controllers in, it's so convenient. Like, do you know how much effort I had to put in order to fit my PlayStation into one of my suitcases to take to Nigeria? Do you know how long that took?
Let me guess, because you had to be forfeiting clothes that you're going to be wearing and outfits that you're going to be wearing to take to Nigeria.
Of course. But I was able to play Overwatch in Lagos with no problem, so it is what it is.
She said, "I'm going to play with the Switch, Overwatch, but this fine shoe, this fine pad."
Of course, listen. what do I need shoe? What do I need shoe for when my house is
I
there?
don't need shoe.
Do I have to leave my house for entertainment? No, dash the shoe. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. My PlayStation is here. But with the Switch, you just
Yeah.
literally dash it in your pocket, hold it under your arm when you're going through the, what's it called when you're going onto the plane and then making sure that you've got like
Boarding.
the required number of bags. You don't, when you're boarding, you don't even need to have an additional bag. You can literally just hold it under your arm. Are they going to charge you £50 for an extra bag because of your Switch? No.
Mm-mm.
Or
They're gonna look
just
at you
prop
and be
it
like,
in your waistband, put your shirt over it and keep walking.
Cheers,
it
man.
works. But we were talking. I was talking about before Ade gets caught by Agent Smith into the Matrix. We were talking. So we were talking about the representation of characters and cultural appropriation within Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm someone that whenever I play a game or whenever I take in most mediums, I like to take in a medium first before I start picking apart at it. And if I see the problems that are too clear to miss, then I'm going to be, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to take myself away from whatever the platform is. Horizon Zero Dawn was pointed out. The friend that was in the chat, she's from America, and she was telling me about how the game is a brilliant game, but there are too many clear issues in the game that we need to start addressing. So it's interesting. She is a Black native, well, not Black native, but as a Black individual within America, she said that it's very clear that or at least some people within the Native American culture had stated that the game pulls way too much or pulls in things from their culture. Sorry, the game pulls in from their culture things that may necessarily not be needed to be. Marvin, take two. The game
It's
pulls
disrespectful?
in. Yeah, it's disrespectful. It pulls in factors from Native American culture that may be disrespectful to pull in and or make comments about. So if it's not only just no problem. Look at this guy having to. Let me give him a second to come back so he can cut that entire section out.
Yeah, go on. No, it's fine.
I waited so at least if you want to cut that bit out, you can cut it out.
Okay.
So the game pulls in things from Native American culture that may be a bit disrespectful to pull in from. So when she was making comments, she was talking about it's not just the clothes and whatnot, but it's stuff like certain animals that you see or animals that you see or robots within the game, because the game has bio, I don't know how the hell to explain, but we'll just call them robots for now, that are, when you see them, they're clearly pulled in from Native American culture, and it shouldn't have been referenced or even closely referenced. And then she also made comment that the games that we play, it's like the companies need to do more to actually make it so that we do see representation within games, but it needs to be done correctly. That's where we're going with that. And I wanted to see, because I started this conversation with you a couple of days ago, but then I had to say, stop talking, Adi, because this is all good content and we can't just let it go into the ether. So what was your perspective on that?
I feel like games companies, streaming companies, just the whole gaming space as a whole, they have a problem with respectful representation. And I think it's purely because they don't have enough of the people who would say, hi, there's an issue here. Do you know what I mean? Maybe because they don't have the required cultural knowledge, or they don't have the required skin color to know what it feels like to be a person who's malign, prejudiced against, that kind of thing, by these types of things. So the people that they have around them, advising them, greenlighting these things, wouldn't necessarily know what to pick up on. Like, if you're going to make a game based on Native American culture, you should ask Native American people, hi, is this offensive to reference? How do I incorporate pieces of your culture in respectfully? Do you think this would offend a large amount of people? Like simple surveys, hiring people on as part of like a diversity effort, or as part of like a green lighting committee. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing would reduce the number of instances of this kind of thing happening. And it's not just in gaming. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone remembers the H&M incident where they had that photo shoot, and it just so happened that the black boy was the one with the T-shirt that had some sort of monkey slogan on it. Do you know what I mean? And if they had just run that by one black person, I feel like they would have told you, mate, I don't think that's a good idea. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So weird about that, because when you're bringing up, like when you remind me about that, I watched the video just today, and I wish I remember the name of the guy so I could credit him. I'm going to have to search it up. Because he made some very valid points, and I actually want to credit him correctly, because what he was saying was that a lot of these brands get a lot of attention from like Outrage. They get a whole heap of attention, and it was the point that he made was that makeup brands. There's a makeup brand that made a palette, right? And that grin on your face is scary.
I've watched a lot of drama videos about this. I've seen a lot of tweets from people like Jackie Aina, Patricia Bryant talking about all of this. Yeah, there's a lot of people
that may comment about that kind of thing.
Profiteering off of Outrage, and it's starting to get really, really old.
Well, that's the thing.
We're all tired of it.
We're tired of it, but what can we? It's not what can we do, but a lot of these people. There we go, Tarek Ali on YouTube. The video just popped up, and I was like, "What?" And he was talking about TikTok and why racism is trending. And the video came out. I was like, why is racism now apparently trending, and why is it on TikTok? Because we have been seeing a ton as to what's been going on now. This is going away from game chat, but we're gonna have to wrap this back in. So he was talking about how a lot of these companies get a lot of PR from, a lot of PR, a lot of attention from outrage marketing, especially from Black Outrage. We get offended at stuff that is clearly offensive, but it's the use of things that are clearly offensive to get attention to whatever brand it is. Because a lot of these people that, let's say, if it's Instagram, a lot of companies don't necessarily care initially about what people hate or what people are paying attention to. They care about the numbers that are associated with people having attention. So if someone is out there on Instagram and they may have racist views or whatever, they're making comment, or on TikTok they have racist views or whatever, the company that may want to sponsor said person is looking at the numbers that person is pulling in. How much attention does that person have? How many eyes does that person have on them? Adeola is frozen again.
Oh, she's
back?
Yeah, she's back. I see it. She's back.
Yep. I was waiting for it to come back in. Yeah.
What's the last thing you heard?
A lot of companies that may have racist views.
No, a lot of
last thing I heard before it just sort of.
we'll pick up. Don't worry. A lot of individuals that may have or influencers that may have racist views will get a ton of attention, and companies that look to sponsor them will not initially look at what they may say or their outlook. They may primarily look at the numbers and or the views that person has so that they can sell. Mm-hmm. The same way you
Pewdiepie.
Okay. We're gonna have the discussion. Okay, let's go for it. Pewdiepie.
Yes.
Let's go for it.
Like he started in 2000 and something, and he's the most subscribed single creator on YouTube. He's got over 103 million subscribers. And initially I was one of those subscribers, you know what I mean? Because I got into gaming content, I got my PS4, I started streaming. So naturally I started watching people's Let's Plays, people's playthroughs, and his playthrough of Bloodborne popped up, and it was just really funny. So I subscribed and I just watched the occasional video. I wasn't like an avid viewer of his channel. I was just there every so often. And I didn't know that he had a racism problem or that his fan base was exceedingly toxic until that whole thing happened where he said the N-word about 3 times. In the space of, a year and a half? Yeah. And I was like, all right, bro, once is a one-off, twice is not a coincidence, 3 times is definitely not enemy action. You're done out here. Him, Markiplier, and a couple of people, I had to unsubscribe. And he originally lost his deal with Disney. Like, he had a massive deal with Disney and he lost it because of the original outrage around the situation, around the whole Nazi salute thing. And what was it? Just over a week, 2 weeks ago, YouTube Gaming exclusively signed Pewdiepie. Even though his fan base is probably one of the most toxic out there. And during the whole fight he was having with TSeries, which is like an Indian production company, it's massive in Bollywood, and they were having a fight over who was going to be like the most subscribed YouTube channel. A lot of the content he was making just made me very uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just very culturally insensitive. You wouldn't say that sort of thing to somebody in public. It was offensive. I'm not even going to say insensitive. It was just offensive. So how can someone look at that and be like, oh, it's fine. No, he's got 100 and something million subscribers and he pulls in over 3 million every video. Let's just sign him. It's fine. It's excusable. Let's just
That's
sign
what companies do.
What's the worst?
That's what we see them do because it pulls in attention. I think, I don't know, because whenever it comes to a lot of stuff concerning the games industry, I find it so annoying that the people that are the loudest within our community, not the people at the forefront always, but the people that are the loudest and we see the most are the people that are sometimes the most toxic. And it really isn't, toxic isn't the word.
Hypocritical?
Not hypocritical, because we have, within the games industry, do you know what I've been saying to myself? And it's really annoying, but I've been saying to myself, a lot of people don't know how racist their kids are. Like, you play some of these games and you told me, fam, a lot of people do not realize how racist their own children. Fam, I was playing Rocket League last week and I got called in like the N-word. I don't want to say it on the platform, but I got called the N-word. And this is a game that is available to everybody. There's nothing that suggests any ill intent on that game. There's nothing that suggests anything. It's a sports game. But someone still found a way to put NIGER. Now, the reason why they know, I'm like, I don't see why I shouldn't have a picture or something that represents me on whatever platform I'm using. You know what I mean? I'll be careful so people don't need to find my parents or whatever if I can. But I don't see a point. So people can see that I'm black. So that's not a problem. And I'm really now learning. It's very clear that you cannot get annoyed at every single instance or reaction that you have from people. Because I've noticed that I'm not only just going to look at PewDiePie and I'm not going to just say his audience, because a lot of of gaming culture, a lot of people seem to use racism as an outlet for whatever anger that they may have within games. So the game isn't the issue anymore. It's now the people that we're allowing to play them. And the people that everybody has a right to play these games, but now we're starting to clearly see that for me, there is a serious racism issue within any game that I play. I remember there was a game, I was playing Rainbow Six Siege, and you were watching me on Twitch one time. And I remember the first incident I had. And I was flipping. Yeah. I was like, this is different. I can understand. No, I can't understand actually. But I can react and keep myself together when I get a racial attack.
What happened?
Oh, man. Fam, the guy was telling me about how there's no place on earth for black people. How he was saying that black people are the scum of the earth. If I can find the video, and I'll just send it to you privately. The guy was saying all this, and I was on stream, and I just sat there like, wow. Because it wasn't just like calling me the N-word. It wasn't saying it, but it's the fact that he was going on and on and on and on and on. And then one of his boys that's on the same part, we're on the same team, by the way.
What the?
We're on the same team, and he's insulting me.
See what?
I was just baffed. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean there's not? And I was just saying to myself, this guy is really out here. I'm streaming this, and my man is really out here saying, da 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 da. How is this? You know what I mean? Like, how is it that we're at this point where we're in 2019? No, end of 2018, beginning of 2019, and I'm being insulted this badly on a gaming platform. Now I was like, oh yeah, racism isn't dead.
Do you know what? Can I jump in on this one?
Yeah, go for it.
So I got my PlayStation I pre-ordered Monster Hunter World. It came in January of, when did that game come out? 2016. And I started streaming. So the third ever time that I went online, and this was when I was still lugging my PlayStation down 7 flights of stairs to use the TV in the common room and bringing my laptop along and setting it all up. And yeah, so anyways, the third ever time I decided to stream to Twitch, I think I was playing Overwatch. So I jump in, I turn my mic on, and at this point my profile picture is like a random selfie. So I don't have any mods at this point because like I was just starting a channel. I'd only just, started really talking to communities, getting to know people. And about 20 minutes in, yeah.
Moderators, yeah.
Moderators are real G's, like ride or dies, like good moderators. Some of them are the good ones, real G. But yeah, no, for real, like I had no one like that. So it was just me having to ban people, time out people, report people, whatever. And about 20 minutes in, I just noticed, when you're streaming directly from PlayStation, it has the bar in like the top right-hand corner that shows you how many messages are popping up if you don't have the column that shows the actual messages. So I just noticed that there was an abnormal amount of messages in the chat because I was in competitive, I was playing ranked. So I looked to the side and this guy had created like 6 accounts and was repeatedly spamming, "You think we're going to go away? We're going to keep coming back. We're going to keep following." And this guy kept making new accounts, following, subscribing, coming back with another account. And this went on for about an hour and a half until he finally, I guess, got IP banned, which, by the way, Twitch does not ban people very quickly. And I know there are a lot of people who are really annoyed who have situations like this, like people coming after them because they're female, because they're gay, trans, because they're bi, because they're Latino, whatever it is. Some sick bastard will start harassing them in chat and they'll report it to Twitch and it doesn't get handled for months. Sometimes there are people who have people literally internet stalking them, sending them death threats or whatever, and Twitch has not done anything about it. There's a person on Twitter, what's her name, Cypher of Tyre, who had it was a terrible problem and they didn't do anything about it. So luckily for me, mine got banned. And then he got like taken out for real because he got like, what was it, the baby ban that was like 3 days, and then he got like properly permanently banned after that. But there are some people who that just does not happen to them. They get like suspended and then they pop back in. They're like, "Hi guys," do you know what I mean? So
it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
And I like at that point, I didn't know what to do. Like I literally after that stream, I turned off my PlayStation and I just sat there in the common room and I cried because I was like, how is this random person gonna come out here and just be doing that? Like, what? Do you not have manners? Do you not have home training? Like, why do you think this is acceptable? But then I realized all these years that I was playing stuff like, for example, World of Warcraft, and you start playing with random people and then they start sending you messages or they get mad because you're female and this kind of thing. I don't know why, I just felt like my Twitch channel was my safe space and I didn't appreciate that somebody had come in to do that type of thing. But it happens and it happens a lot. And the people who do these things, I'm sorry, their parents know full well how racist they are. They do. Because I feel like racism is very much, it's not a nature thing. You're not innately born racist. It's a matter of nurture. It's a matter of nurture. And the people who affect us the most are the people who raise us, the people who are around us on a regular basis. So the parents know exactly how their children think because they've encouraged them to think that way, to take that behavior in person, or they're braver when they're not doing it in person. So behind a random profile picture, they feel perfectly entitled to just regurgitate that all over the internet. And it's sad, but it is what it is. So I don't feel any type of sympathy or sorrow for those people because
you can't.
You can't.
What?
You
No, you
can't.
don't. You don't. I think it's a scary thing to actually have to be in. I kind of find it so weird that we're now in a position where people are able. I feel. I can't put into words how I feel right now, because when I think about it, it's like we're in a weird position where we're like, we should encourage a lot of people to take part in this kind of, gaming is an art form. The games that are made are an art form, and they're an entertainment medium and so many different things. And we encourage people to take part, but then there are certain sects of people, the same way you have it in everything else, that will exclude and attack people because of their race and or gender. So it's kind of, it's one of those things where we look at people like PewDiePie's platform, and we look at, so you said Markiplier, and it's like, okay, we're wondering what's going on, but then it's like it's ingrained within this medium. And that's the thing that, even if I bring it again back to Horizon Zero Dawn, because I find it very interesting. As someone that would eventually like to be making games fully, and being 100% focused on how I convey a message and actually have people take part in the entertainment medium, it's a bit scary to try and make these games, because if I don't make them correctly, I can get attacked for representation of Black people, even because we are not a monolith. I can't make a game as a Black Sierra Leonean British man that will represent the different facets that we exist in. We are not just one set people. So I won't even get it right as someone like that. And that's not making excuse for games like Horizon Zero Dawn that draw culturally from other things and do it incorrectly. They should get people that they consult for knowledge, but it's almost impossible. But then going further to say that we need to start having our own studios, because I don't know that many what's it?
I think a new one opened up. What was it?
Let me know.
Last year. There was a Black-owned game studio that opened up in London, and I remember it being tweeted on the Black Girl Gamers account, and it was a big thing because I hadn't really heard of a fully targeted Black game developers. So, because even I'm not into I'm not an IT person, I'm not a writer, I'm not an illustrator, I'm not any of that. So even though I'd like to get involved in the industry, my involvement would be more on the financial, administrative, legal side. Do you know what I mean? So even applying for those positions, the people on the posters, on the adverts, the contacts were predominantly white people. So it was very special to me seeing that there was a whole studio just full of people who looked like me. I really appreciated that.
It really matters. It really does matter. That's why I think having companies like that clearly show that there is a Black section. It's not that we're separate from everybody else, but we are there with you. So having this racism happen even within the sphere of gaming shouldn't be acceptable. You shouldn't have had to go through the attack that you went through just Twitch streaming. I shouldn't have to go through, nobody should have to go through a form of attack just because we don't represent people that exist within the community, because the community is vast, right? And it's not exclusionary. We don't have only white studios. Well, they do exist, but it's not that we have studios that are only white but don't have Black people that play the game. We don't have games pull in from so many different cultures, from so many different kinds of people, from so many different areas of the world. It's ridiculous now, but something that I'm not surprised by, that people still, even though we have Black people making these games, still play them and they won't have a sense of regard for who may be part of providing this form of entertainment to you, who you're playing as. I was playing Rainbow Six Siege. This is something that made me realize, wow, it's actually ridiculous. Again, Rainbow Six Siege, there are certain games that the community, you will just meet some of the worst people. The community can be brilliant, but some people that you meet can just be the worst human beings. Playing the game, came across some people within the game. You have different operators. Operators are pretty much characters that have different abilities, and you have characters that are Black. And it's this game. The reason why I always talk about it, because it's something that really does amaze me, not just on the ability to provide a consistently moving game that is still competitive regardless of whatever time you play it, and it's still interesting to play. But the inclusion that you have within the game, you have, because of the fact that it is based on war, you have different army sects that they pull from, and this will go from literally. Oh, well, actually, let me not say these. No, they have people from Egypt, Egyptian operators, all the way to American to Brazilian. You know what I mean? So it's literally from one side of the scope to the other, and it doesn't even shy away from Chinese and whatever, like Chinese, Japanese, Korean. It doesn't shy away from all of that. But then I was playing as one character, and I was talking to the teammates that I had, and I was like, okay, what are you going to use? Who are you going to use? You're going to use that person? Okay, cool. I might just team with this person. And I said one character, his name is Castle. Oh, the nigger operator.
Okay.
They had to consult somebody to get information about this character. There is background concerning this character. This is probably even modeled on a black person. There is so much that goes into just having one operator in this game. I'm pretty sure. The nigger operator. This is 2019 that I got told this. I was just like,
see, hearing that, it's not surprising that that guy got lynched by father and son in Georgia the other week. Like,
Ahmaud Arbery.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Someone tweeted 2 months ago when, after 200 years, the United States decided to make lynching a federal crime. You mean to say I've been walking around lynchable this entire time? And I'm not going to lie, I laughed at the tweet, but a part of me was thinking, bruh, that's still not a crime. That's still not a crime. So when I hear stuff like this, I'm just...
America is a wild place, you know.
You see, it's not just America, though, because outright, do you know what it is? America is overt because literally everyone and their grandma has a gun. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember going to the Walmart, like the massive Walmart in New Jersey where we live, and this granny, like her trolley or whatever, overturned, and her little handbag was unzipped and out pops like a Glock, and I'm like,
wait, what?
yeah.
Granny got a strap?
I was like, wait a minute. She was like, whoa, hold up. Like, wait a minute. Pause.
She out here like, I got...
You mean to tell me... You mean to tell me you locked and loaded this? Like,
she got license to carry
in the frozen aisle. Like, everyone has something, and that's why conflicts are so like overt over there. Whereas I feel like in Britain, it's more
overt.
Like it's less institutionalized and more. It's less constitutional and more institutionalized over here.
Insidious. The term that everybody was using after I heard it from what's in the grapevine. It's insidious.
Yeah. I think there was a book that said that every brick in Bristol was built with the blood of a slave over here, and that really struck me because you don't normally pay attention to the mortar when you're looking at a building. You see the bricks, you see the completed picture. So a lot of people look at places like the UK, for example, and they think, oh, we don't hear of people walking to police stations and never coming out. You don't hear of the police shooting people in the middle of the street. Apart from those riots that happened in like 2012, you don't hear about that type of thing happening often, but it does happen. You submit a job application and, oh, your surname is too complicated to pronounce, so you don't get picked. You don't submit a photo with your application, but you have a white sounding surname. You turn up to the interview and they're like, oh, you're not what I expected. You speak into the mic, and because you don't have a noticeable accent, they don't know that you're not white, but they look at your profile picture and all of a sudden they start treating you differently. Do you know what I mean? So just because it's not as overt here doesn't mean that's not a problem. It's very distinctly a problem over here, and it's a problem all over the world. But in the games industry, I just feel like we're never going to see progress until we start seeing more faces that more accurately represent the people of the world in the positions that matter, the positions that are responsible for these decisions. So until we see a wider variety of people in the workforce, we're not gonna get that accurate green light check for games, and situations like this are gonna keep popping up.
Do you know what? Because I think, oh gosh, we're about to go over the time. What I was gonna say, we'll just start over again. The thing I was about to say was that I don't even know if it's only just a case of having representation within different companies anymore. This is what I'm saying. Like we need to be able to work within these companies, and I do think that if we have our own, people should be able to work within ours. But I think the same way we have people making moves when it comes to makeup, hair, food, just general business. You know what I mean? We have so many black people. Boy, this is now going into something else. We have so many black people within different areas and excelling, doing well, very well within different areas. We have natural born entrepreneurs that just come out of the ethos that is black, or our culture, just as being an African person. Like there is so much that we have to give, but we haven't seen, I haven't seen the representation, and I need to see it. There is one person, Desmond Gale. He is the CEO of Outrage. It's a games company within the UK. That's the one. That's the one you guys are talking about. Yeah. I spoke to him. I spoke to him, and I applied to his place time ago when I wanted to look for a job, and he got back to me. Now, he didn't have places at the time. I can understand. You know what I mean? But I was proud. Like, I don't care. It's the fact that you exist as an entity within the UK, and that you're doing something, and you're not just thinking about it, you've gone for it. But we need more companies. I don't know where to start with that one. I really don't know. I think people are, I think with all areas, there's a merger between different cultures, and we're having people having to learn how to adhere to each other's culture and work together, despite the different backgrounds and ways of doing things.
Because if there's people in there, the thing is that people need to know that if someone is, like what you said about the whole native Indian thing, like if there was someone who was of that race, all these, like, I feel like it's education. People are not educated enough.
They're not.
If you're educated about, okay, I shouldn't say this, or I shouldn't do this, then all these things will be happening. Honestly, people are like, especially like obviously because in America there's some places where, especially the South, innit? Some people are just ignorant, but if they're, open up their mind, if they're taught, this, that, don't do that, then all these things won't be happening. Honestly, I just think people just need education, innit? That's what I've come to understand, because I used to wonder why people like this,
But I think you're right. People definitely need to be educated. With ignorance, I feel like racism will never truly go away, because racism is a form of ignorance. Again, ignorance is just the lack of knowledge. I think racism is just a violent form of ignorance, and I think it's something that we can't truly get away from, because as long as people aren't willing to understand, and people aren't willing to be educated, and they're not willing to put their mind towards understanding someone of a different culture, we're just going to have racism. So that's one section. But I do think...
And the people that are still going about like that guy, I didn't even know. I always see, this guy's got bare subscribers. What's he doing? The Pewdiepie guy.
Because he's an institution at this point. So people see that he's popular, they jump in, they like some of his content, and they just consistently keep watching. It's why people like Jeffree Star, for example, still have careers. Like I think he's the most subscribed beauty YouTuber, regardless of the fact that, in my opinion, he's a terrible human being. But people are going to ignore that. Do you know what I mean? It's why Keemstar is still a thing, despite the numerous problems people have.
That's not even good.
I just think we should be banned, man. That's when people start wising up. I don't know why.
I didn't even know who the hell.
It's just banned. As soon as you get
someone just needs to just delete his YouTube account.
2 strikes.
Hack and delete his YouTube account. Well, I'm not advocating
Let's not
this,
advocate.
but I wouldn't cry if it happened. Yeah, I wouldn't cry if it happened. Let's put it that way, because he's terrible.
Okay, let's be careful. If you watch this video and you get the idea to do it, don't do it. We're not telling you to do it. Do not do it.
We're not advocating for you to do it.
She is not advocating. She did not say do it. She just wouldn't cry if you did, but don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Just so people don't come for next. We don't want you to be. We need to protect. We need to protect. But no.
But with regards to racism, there are people who are very highly educated who are still prejudiced against women, who still don't listen to people who are younger than them because they feel like as an older person they know better automatically. It's not, I don't feel like it's so much a matter of ignorance as it is a matter of prejudice. And as human beings, there are how many of us? There are 8 billion of us. Minimum, probably more on the level of 10, especially now, given that there's apparently been a baby boom since everyone's been locked up. I mean, for some people, what else is there to do all day? But anyway, yeah.
Don't worry, give it 9 months. Give her another 5. Give her another 5. Quarantine babies. A lot of them.
Imagine what this is going to look like to a modern history class in about 10 years. You were a quarantine baby. When were you born? I want to say about February 2021. Yeah, you were definitely a quarantine baby, mate. That's going to be the most embarrassing thing. But that's their problem, not mine. Yeah, racism is more, it's not really ignorance. I think it's just a matter of prejudice. And as long as people continue to have that opinion, it's not going to change. I don't think racism will ever fully go away. I think we can mitigate it, but it's not ever fully going to go away just because of how ingrained it is in the world's history and how many people are just willing to keep teaching those morals to their children over and over. It's like the Nazi regime, for example. Being a Nazi was outright banned, and yet we still have neo-Nazi groups popping up every couple of years like weeds that just won't die. Or like trash Pokemon that you have to keep killing over and over again where they respawn. So,
It's something that we have to. It's annoying that we have to accept it as the Black Caucus. We have to fully accept that it won't go away. But I think that again, that's where it comes to having to educate and have our own.
Yeah.
I think within our own, I can't trust anybody to make. Oh, okay, you want to go there? Okay, hold on. Before we do go there, let's see. Before we do go there, I think the discussion I was having about Horizon Zero Dawn was that we can't expect, like, Guerrilla Games is it Swedish? It's a Central European company.
I know CD Projekt Red is like a
Polish.
Yeah. But I actually don't know where Guerrilla Games is based.
Guerrilla Games is if it's not Swedish, it is somewhere in Central Europe. And you don't have an excuse. Okay, hindsight 2020, but you should really think about the culture that you pull from and whether or not you consult. And if you do consult, if they did their best to consult, and that's what they got, it was very clear that we just didn't. It wasn't. We just don't see it as good enough. That's that. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to look to
they're Dutch.
Every single culture is going to be able to have a company that represents them or a group of people that represent them correctly. We do need to have the people that are within the companies are representing each culture effectively to avoid there being problems that we had, like in Horizon Zero Dawn, or even the people that are bringing up issues concerning skins within Apex, which is fair enough because that's a different thing altogether. But as much as we have those issues, I don't think it'll ever be truly. We won't have true representation unless these companies fully dedicate themselves to it. Otherwise, we would need to have our own companies that, if we're going to tackle these things or have characters that represent a Black individual, or at least some elements of Black culture or something concerning whatever tract or group of people, we need to make it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just down to. I'm not saying that it's just down to us to make it ourselves. If we do need to have the companies that are representing us correctly, if they do try, but we also need to do it ourselves. And so we do need to have our own representation because they don't understand why. A lot of people don't understand why we need representation. within companies. We were still hearing people say, but we tolerate you. And we're just like, it's not a case of tolerate. We don't.
Or, you're making gaming unnecessarily political, or you're ruining it by like including Black characters, Asian characters, characters who are trans, characters who are, like bi, all of this, like, you're unnecessarily politicizing games and all of this. Just because we're in, like, what was it? What's the game that came out that was like a 7-hour art stream by this guy who used to make like fan art, and all of a sudden is make Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the guy who was doing the art, the cover art, he used to make fan art. He's now blown, he's massive. He did like a 7-hour stream covering the game, and then they released the trailer for it the next day, and a lot of people were like, why are there female Vikings? Why are there people of color who are Vikings? And it's like, it's a fantasy game.
Yeah,
it is a fantasy game, and you are crying because the pixelated character that you can play as has an option to be of a different skin color. Just pick whatever you want to play as and run with it. Like, nobody's asking you to play as a Black character if you don't want to. No one is asking you to play as a character with Asian features if you don't want to. No one's asking you to play as a female character if you don't want to. Why are you mad that there is the option? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't affect you, because at the end of the day, you do what you choose to do.
Facts.
And people get so like annoyed about it and like, so up themselves about it. And it's like, if you don't like somebody on Twitter, instead of crying at them and just being messy, block them, fam. That's what the button was made for. What is this Quasia that you're just releasing all over the TL? Just flipping block them. It's not that hard. It's one button. It solves all your mess. Bada bing, bada boom, sit it, bang, the dirt is gone. What more do you want?
What do you want? Go sit it, bang, the dirt is gone.
No, for real. It pisses me off so much when I see people complain about that, or like, Elder Scrolls, for example, the fact that you have like all the options with the hairstyles, or like Guild Wars 2, when they made the options, they have brilliant Black hairstyles in Guild Wars 2, by the way. Anyone who plays that, shout out to you, because I did not know that was a thing. But people were getting really up themselves about it. Or people tweeting about Animal Crossing, for example, like, we'd love some more curly hairstyles in there. It would provide like a great amount of variety. And there are people who aren't even necessarily like, Black, Asian, whatever, who would like some of the hairstyles that people have been coming up with included in games. So I don't understand why it's so offensive that people want to add additional content. You're not being pushed out of something. We're just expanding it to include more people. Yeah. And if that's a problem for you, then you don't need to play the game. I'm sorry. Like,
it's an inclusive it's weird. It's an inclusive what is the term? I'm forgetting words today. This is why you don't play games till 4 a.m.
Being inclusive doesn't mean that we're excluding you.
Exactly.
Like,
it is something. It's an entire thing. We play these games, and we know that within these games, anybody should be able to play them. It's not exclusionary as a platform. The platform is fully inclusive to the point where you have places like Microsoft. Again, we have to give hats off. We have to give credit where credit is due. Microsoft put in so much focus into creating hardware that allows for different abilities. It caters for different disabilities, allowing people to come in and play games. I can't remember the name of the pad, but it was one massive thing that had like massive buttons, and like you can then also have modular components that you add to it and whatnot. You have Microsoft doing that. I can't remember if PlayStation or what other platforms have done the same thing. You have companies that go and do that. We allow for different coloring for different sight. We allow the games Dauntless. I was told by a friend of mine again that in Dauntless the sound design is made in such a way so that if you're blind you can play it.
Yeah.
But we are stuck on accessibility, or customization of characters based on their skin color or hairstyle.
It's stupid.
It's a very, very silly thing, and this isn't representative of the entire the entire group of people that play games. This isn't representative the society or group of people that play this game. It's not representative of everybody, but it's interesting and ridiculous as a problem to have, because it's like, this is an escaping medium. Sorry, Karen.
Even talking about customization of characters, even if we move it to like the professional players, for example, I play Overwatch. Like, I'm a Nigerian British, not girl anymore, but like, you know, Nigerian British, live in England, plays Overwatch casually. Do you know what I mean? I am by absolutely no means the only black woman playing Overwatch, and yet how many black people, not just talk about women, how many black people do you see in professional esports teams playing Overwatch? How many? How many black people do you see in professional teams playing 2K, for example? By the way, if you missed out on that being £4 on the PlayStation Store, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. It was £4, man. I had to buy it. When my little brother's not pissing me off, I'll let him play it in it. But £4? Deal.
I skipped it. I said, don't worry about it. Although that may have been a selfish thing for anybody else that wants to come play. Okay, do you know what the thing is for me, though? When it comes to professional sports, it's kind of a hard one to pin anything on, because the amount of ability that you have to get into certain streams of competitive play is ridiculous. So I think it's whether or not, how many black people do we know that can play on a competitive level, and if they are there, we need to push them forward, because that is one that I don't even know how to even start pulling apart and understanding.
The thing is with these competitive things, like having access to facilities where you can train, or even getting the opportunity, is the point where they're filtering out female people, black people. Do you know what I mean? They're filtering us out at that point of entry. So it is very, very hard for people to get to the point where they are professional grade, when they may not necessarily be able to afford the equipment, afford to sink the time in, when they're students, they have a full-time job, they're taking care of the family, they're paying their rent. You can't afford necessarily to sink hundreds of hours a month into playing a game in order to build up the requisite skills in order to get to professional grade. There are people who do, however, just like there are people who, on their own, manage to get enough skill to get scouted for football teams, for example. So it's not that the people don't exist, it's that they're not picking those people when the time comes to form the teams.
I don't know.
When those people aren't visible, it's a progressively worse cycle, because they aren't picking those people to form the teams. You then watch the esports competitions and literally everyone looks the same. They're either white or Asian. So less and less black people apply, because they're just going to think, well, they're not going to choose me anyway. There's no point. Do you know what I mean? And then it just, it's a cycle.
I don't think that's the case. I think the problem that we have is, I don't think it's we're getting filled with, we're denied a point of entry. I don't know, the exposure of games as a professional medium has really made it to the forefront of black culture, that we know definitely that if you put in 100 or however many hours, not 100, that's a medium, but however many thousands of hours you put into a game, if that'll convert for you to actually have a substantial living or focus to have put onto games. Because I feel like it's a privilege to live with, that you can focus on that as a primary means of income. But then before you even know it's a primary means of income, you can dedicate an amount of time to do these things and then get to a point where you're at professional level.
But here's the thing, how many of our parents told us, I know personally my parents said, you either have to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a pharmacist, or, you know what I mean? They tell you to go for those traditional careers because those are the ones that they know that if you put in the effort, you'll succeed at, and that you'll be less likely to be struck by prejudice and get booted out of potentially getting into that career. That's why parents drive you to go for those routes, because the skills that you build up along those routes means that you're going to be all right if you manage to get into whatever position you get into. When it comes to games, however, because even now, a lot of people still don't like their parents, still don't like their children to go into like arts careers or the less traditional careers, because they don't think that they'll make a living out of it. They don't think that they're going to get popular enough in order to sustain a living off of these careers. However, with gaming, sure, a lot of people don't realize it's a stable career. My parents don't respect the fact, certainly, that I'm streaming on Twitch and that it does provide a source of income. They don't get it.
Yeah,
they don't understand it. They don't care about sponsorships and all of that. They expect
now the new YouTube.
To do what I need. Yeah, they expect me to do what I need to do for my traditional career, and I respect that. But at the same time, Twitch is an option. A mixer is an option.
Hold on. You've entered the matrix.
Gaming is an option. A lot of people don't respect.
Oh, it's calm. You're calm now.
Okay, you're calm now. You're calm. Continue.
Calm now. Yeah. A lot of people don't respect that. But and in addition to that, how do you expect people to push their children towards these types of careers if they don't see that people who look like their children are succeeding in that space? How do you expect people to push their children towards those careers when they don't see people who look like them succeeding?
And that's
especially with the amount of time that you have to put in.
And that's what I'm saying. It's now becoming it was, when you look at it that way, it was a consistent, like, never-ending cycle of you won't see anything concerning until I think the first time my dad was like, oh, you can actually make money from doing, like, playing games, was the time where he heard of that kid that made 14 mil?
Fortnite. Yeah.
From playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, why don't you go and play games? I was like, you mad man. I've been through 3 years of uni and I've been playing games for 20. You bought me my PlayStation 1 and that came out in 1996 and I was born 95. You watched me play that, my PS2, my PS3, my PS4, and now you're telling me I should play games. You're mad. I can't. It's only now you want to respect me. But that's the thing. It's like that's where it started. They saw that being a doctor, not only was it a case of getting money, it was also a case of pride for that. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of parents will tell you to go for certain jobs. Not a lot. Let me not generalize. But I feel like parents would have driven you to go for certain jobs because they know that not only is it money, it's something that would have brought pride to the family. Let's not lie.
Sure.
It's very good to show off. Look at my child. He's doctor.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's what they were doing. But now you can see that this is an avenue. They want to show off, but it's now an avenue that they can do this. It's something that they probably already do as a extracurricular thing. And you know what I mean? You can actually make money from it if you go and you dedicate time. That's why when I come and I look at stuff like professional gaming, I'm like, okay, that one requires a lot of, like, you can't, some of these professional gamers, just being a Twitch streamer, people that do it at a high level, just being a Twitch streamer requires you to focus on a game like it's your 9 to 5 and actually study that game. There's a guy I watch, Zeronic, that plays Rainbow Six Siege. Whenever I'm like just chilling on my off time and I've got something in the background, I'll be paying attention to what he's doing because he's got a fun, like, he's interesting to watch as a person. He's fun. He's from he's also Dutch, but I can't remember exactly where he's from. But he plays the game. He's white. He plays the game well, like very well, and I find it interesting to watch him play. But when you see how much attention to detail that comes with playing just that game, then you realize that there are men that you know that apply this kind of attention, but they're playing FIFA. They don't do it seriously. They do it recreationally on something like FIFA. They do it on NBA. They do it on other games, maybe Call of Duty. A lot of the mainstream games, well, you know, saying now that more nuanced, different games that do not follow the set shoot or sport are what people are now joining into. And there's a lot of people that stream on Twitch that show this. But when it comes to on a professional level, the amount of focus that is required, it's something that we haven't been exposed for people to actually take time and play. You know what I mean? Playing Rainbow Six Siege like that is different. Playing even playing games like flipping Super Mario now when they have Mario Maker and the amount of deals that people go in to have to make levels different.
Watching people cry on Mario Maker is the funniest thing. I'm sorry. It makes my day watching videos of people like breaking their Switch controllers. One guy threw his Switch out the 3rd floor of his building because of this level that was made by Dashi on Super Mario Maker was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It is. I can't wait. You see what I'm saying?
Sensational.
The amount of focus that's required for this stuff is mad. But within our own culture, people didn't force you to go towards that. So we're going to start seeing a lot of representation when it comes to stuff like Twitch, because Twitch is like YouTube, but more for gaming at this point. Yeah, I mean, as you said earlier, Jamal, it's now like YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it's now, we say YouTube as it's a synonymous thing for a social media platform that allows you to post video. So it's a web hosted platform. It's literally the equivalent. And we're seeing a lot of black people. I think, the person that I saw recently get fully recognized was Story Mode Bay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She got, recently recognized. But from what I saw, she's actually pretty cool to watch. She really does take in time to engage with the community. She plays games frequently. That's another thing. There's a lot of women that can play any man under the table that I've come across. I'm like, this is actually rude. This is rude, but the representation is there, and there are people that they have the skill, they're just not pushed towards it. We are not pushed towards it, but we will start seeing that happen now more frequently.
Yeah.
Just before we go,
drop another game.
What I would like is for Adeola to give us like take us back in the time and how you got into.
What happened to your head? Sorry.
The position you are in now. If you could just
I got into gaming, streaming, all of that.
Yeah.
So what was the first console that we got? Was like the PlayStation or the PlayStation 2? No, my friend had a PlayStation, the original PlayStation. And then after like a year and a half of tantrums, crying, eating okra, even though I hated it, and all of that, we managed to convince my mum to buy a PS2 and it play in shifts, because we only had a couple of games that had required multiple controllers for local multiplayer. So with single player games, we would have like shifts to play. So they're my little brother, and there was this one.
Ade. Pause.
I remember on PS2. What was it called?
Ade, you've entered the Matrix.
Earth to Ade.
Come back.
Matrix.
Oh, okay, hold on. You're slowly coming back.
Like we can hear, but we can't.
Going to bed.
Oh, wait. Is it back? It's back now.
It seems like it's temporary.
Back?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
So we used to have shifts to beat this game, like 3 hours at a time after school. We would all continuously go on the PlayStation and rotate until we'd 100%ed this game. And just from there, like any time I could, I used to play RuneScape. I used to play like all the online games like Adventure Quest and Pokemon Creator and anything I could get my hands on. Like in IT lessons, I would load up like World of Warcraft, Miniclip, all of this, and just be switching windows. And I finally got my PS4, pre-ordered Monster Hunter World and got Overwatch on PS4. I had it on PC from launch and just started playing. It took me a while to work up the courage to stream though, because it's one thing to play these things on your own. It's another thing to put yourself out there on the internet. But I just thought that it would be a good way to find people who were interested in the things that I was interested in. Has it gone off?
Okay. The last thing we heard was because I started trying to pick up everything you were saying in between. It's another thing to put yourself out there while playing these games. There we go.
Okay, we back.
Yeah. Last thing we heard was that you said it's another thing to put yourself out. Oh, are you still here?
Okay.
You back? Ade. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds essentially.
So what was you guys are it says my connection is unstable.
We need to hear the rest of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo.
The video.
Okay, we can. The video's acting a bit funny, but don't worry, we can continue anyway.
Yeah.
Last thing we heard was you saying that it's one thing to play the games, but it's a different thing entirely to put yourself out there and play these games. So continue.
Yeah, because as a kid, I was very, very shy. Like, the only thing I did was read books. I used to read at least like 3 books a week. There was a point where I was reading at least 1 a day because I didn't talk to people. Like, I just couldn't hold conversations with people, so I would just lose myself in that other written world.
Yeah.
So playing games was very much the same thing, and that's why on consoles especially I loved single player games. On PC was where I played the stuff that like involved other people, but that was more like RuneScape, World of Warcraft, stuff like that. So when I decided to stream, I think at a Natural Hair event I ran into Jay, who runs the Black Girl Gamers community, which are very active on Twitch and Twitter. And we weren't even talking originally about gaming, we were talking about natural hair. And I think I must have made a joke. And she was like, "Oh, are you into gaming?" And I have like a Facebook group of women who are into that. And originally I thought it was like a scam. I was like, you sure about that? And she was like, no, I'm serious. Like, join the Facebook group, join the Discord. And so I sat in that Discord, observed what they were doing. And one day I just worked up the courage to say hi. And it was like, everyone was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. We were worried about you. You were really quiet." And they just started giving me advice and encouraging me to do it and giving me suggestions. And so I just started streaming, and I just haven't stopped doing it from there because I found that I just really enjoy it. And it's given that I've had no one to chat to about it before. I've gone to so many events that I never thought I would actually get to go because of it. And I've had so many unique experiences that I don't think I'm ever going to give it up because it's become really, really important. I sat in that Discord chat for 4 months watching people like, say hi to each other, recommending games, just having like, random conversations, not even just about gaming, but genuinely becoming friends on there. And so I just decided to pipe up one day, and everyone was really nice about it. They were all really helpful. When I started asking people for like tips and, "Oh, how did you do that? What equipment are you using?" Like, they recommended what capture card I was going to get, told me to do some research. And so I just decided to start streaming from my PlayStation. I didn't have enough money to get a camera. I didn't even have enough money to get like, garlic seasoning at that point because rent and all of that, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I decided to start streaming straight from my PlayStation, turned on the console, did it, and people were popping up like, "Oh, hi, you're playing this. Oh, did you pre-order the game?" And slowly but surely it just became easier and easier to speak up. So I started playing more and more often in games like Overwatch with the mic enabled so I could speak to people. And I just started getting to know people and getting friends through doing it. And I've been to so many places that I don't think I would have ever had the opportunity to go to otherwise. And I've had so many experiences that I don't think I would give up for the world. Had COVID not slapped everybody into lockdown, I would have probably gone to TwitchCon EU at the beginning of this month.
Let me know you're going to go. And I wanted to go. I told you, if you're going to go, let me know.
I told you about it. I told you about it. I told you about EGX as well.
Yeah, you did, didn't it?
No, but I was ready. My body was ready because Lord knows I ain't got the money to go to TwitchCon USA. Much as I would have loved to, I don't have the money for that. but TwitchCon EU is accessible because EasyJet is right there. Do you know what I mean? So I was prepared. Like, I had the Airbnb, I had everything locked down, only for the pandemic to say, "Psych, you're staying at home." So I'm upset about that.
No, man, we need to extend this conversation. If we continue, it's going to go for 4 hours. But
Yeah,
definitely a face-to-face one is needed. This one is
definitely,
just like a prequel.
100%.
I was pushing that hopefully if the pandemic was chilling at some point and we didn't have anything like this, we would have you first on face to face. But clearly we might be locked out for almost a year. So yeah, here we are. Don't worry.
Part two. We're definitely gonna have to do this IRL. But anyways, I'm happy to come on for part 2 in it because I've enjoyed it.
Don't worry, we're enjoying you. Also, we should probably plug what's the, I don't know why my brain's gone blank on the anime, not the animatics. Yes, animatics.
Yes. So the Animatics podcast, if you're interested listening to 5 London girls who enjoy a variety of anime, not just Dragon Ball, not just Naruto, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really happy that I've met these girls and I've started doing it because we watch, listen, read everything from like the cheesiest of shoujo to like the goriest of horror, do you know what I mean? So whatever you're into, there's going to be somebody to have a talk about with it. So yeah, just pull up. We're on Twitter. Our Twitter account is TheAnimaticsPod. We're also on Instagram. If you click the link, I think it's the Animatics Podcast with dashes in between. .card.co, it will pop up with like our business card website, and it has links to where you can get to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. So yeah, check us out for that. And if you catch me on Twitch sometime, just stick around, say hi.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I fully advocate for animatics because they've had me cackling and they've actually spoken about a lot concerning. No, fully the discussion that you guys have on anime is actually really, really good. And it's kind of pull up again because I normally would listen when I'm at work or like when I've been playing games, but because I've been streaming, it's been hard to kind of balance. But I've enjoyed their content. I'm not gonna lie. So check out
We've got
animatics.
to get together. Yeah, we've got to get together and record because recording has been kind of hard with the current situation, and my mic and everything has managed to come. Some of the other girls are having problems receiving their deliveries and setting it up and doing all this. So whenever we finally get that pattern, we're definitely going to record another episode because I've missed them a lot and I know that they're missing us too. So yeah.
No worry, you guys will work something out. It'll be okay.
We'll work it out. Okay. We'll work it out.
All right. Well, this has been the Technology Podcast. Uncle Jay, do you want to give us a finish off for this one?
Yeah, do you want to wrap this up for us?
I've got a few plugins if you want to, because now we're doing articles now. So if you want to get like a, yeah.
I thought that was a pipeline thing. I didn't say anything about that because I was like, I'm seeing there's developments coming here and there, but I want to keep quiet.
It's live. It's live. It's live now.
It's live now.
Yeah. Paul's made it live. Yeah. So if you want to, from our episodes, you want to see like a condensed version, or it's there for you. There's some tips.
WhatsApp me the link for that because I'm definitely gonna have to have a look through those.
So for all
a nice way to catch up.
Definitely. Yeah. So like for all our episodes, even this one, we want to make it, put in an article format, and there's people that like reading, so we want to cater to them as well. So I think it's technology. I think if you're going to Substract, then just type in technology, TECHNULLGY. Yeah.
We'll go from there.
Well,
that's that.
And obviously, last thing, the Barner brand. If you're someone that uses glasses and you're working at the computer screen and the light is affecting your glasses, there's some sort of reflection light on your glasses, then because we need to give them the referral.
We'll do something. Yeah, we'll have to do something specific for the Barner brand. But We will discuss that in a second. Let's lock this off. This has been a Technology TV podcast. We've got Jamal, we've got Adeola, we've got me, myself, Malvin. Thank you, man, for coming through. We do appreciate it. Come again next time we're on. Deuces.
Bye.